Medication makes me itch.
Yep.
I'll take a few medications like scratch a heck of a lot all over my body. When I do scratch, it makes things worse and takes forever to heal. I just tend to scratch and scratch and scratch.
So you literally just scratch it and it just bleeds.
Medication dries out my skin here on my foot.
How long have you had that kind of side effect?
Since I've had the kidney.
How long's that?
Almost 5 years now.
This is the scarring from the...
That's scarring from the dialysis needles.
Like it's actually
an indentation.
It's like
yes.
a big hole.
That's where a needle goes in. They would do that. A needle in there and here 3 days a week, 5 hours at a time, 5.5 years. More needles than that because sometimes it wouldn't work. It makes me shake. Botox put in my...
What are they saying Botox will do?
When for somebody does the face, just like to calm them, stretch so that they're, so they're relaxed.
Yeah.
And so that it won't be so much shaking.
Is there any other parts of your body involuntary move?
Yeah, the tongue does.
What does that do?
Just talking to a lady, leering, don't like her, look at that.
In a sexual way.
Sexual way, it's not nice.
Any other side effect? Medication.
There's tiredness. Kidney and the kidneys help, still do get lethargic.
I haven't done much, really.
I haven't done much. I went mum and dad, and got Connor first.
I was just talking about my son and saying how after what I've been through since I was a kid through to 35 and listening to stories like your own, I'm scared to see my son at 18 end up smoking pot or take some drug and end up at a GP on a medication because I wouldn't want him to go through what I went through.
I can understand that. I've never taken any other drug except for the drugs that I am on, for bipolar as well for the kidney transplant. However, I have tried magic mushrooms and all they did for me was calm me down. My hands did not shake, didn't have hallucinations. Drugs such as ice, heroin, things like that, stay away from absolutely. Whereas marijuana can be medicinal, it can calm people down. If your son grows up and chooses to use marijuana, I would think it would be not as bad as having to be on legal drugs for any other mental condition that a person may have.
And you would prefer to see your son on marijuana than antipsychotics?
Absolutely, on marijuana if at all possible. Health reasons, yeah, absolutely.
That's a very big statement.
Yeah, it is. But I've come into contact with a lot of people since I left home 2.5 years ago nearly. They use, and they're a lot better functioning people than people that I know that are on medication for mental illness.
Yeah,
my hands shaking are a direct result of medication.
So transplant.
My kidney transplant was a direct result of being put on.
Yeah.
I was monitored on the toxicity caused renal failure, 5.5 years on hemodialysis, getting a transplant 2009, but if I had my choice, probably would have taken a different path in the first place before I would have seen a psychiatrist.
I'm sorry for what has happened to you in your life.
Thank you.
You deserve an apology. What memories you must have. The least you could hear is you deserve the same rights and dignity.
I wasn't going to sue him, putting me on. He straight away palmed me off onto another psychiatrist. Side effect of going off that I'm on bipolar medication.
Now that you're not on the other drug
anymore, I've been told that if I went off the drug suddenly could cause epileptic fits.
1 medication, 3 uses. Mood stabilizer, anti-epileptic, blood thinner. 3 completely different conditions.
It's to stop epileptics from having fits.
Not related to each other at all. 1 medication is prescribed for all 3.
I've heard of multitasking, but this is ridiculous.
It's for a mood stabilizer.
It's a mood stabilizer, and I go off it, I could have fits.
Yeah, have you ever had epilepsy?
No, never
or
had
had
epilepsy.
any kind of fits?
No, never.
I am sorry for what you've been through in your life. I'm going to give you a hug.
Thank you.
God bless you, man. And
thanks, Mike.
You're a very strong man, and you must have a lot of forgiveness. God bless you.
Thank you, Mike.
Far greater than bitterness that destroys. Ignorance creates total destruction.